Here we have two pieces of fabric cut 6 inches, top and bottom, by 7 inches on each side. We are going to sew them together with having both right sides together. That's the two pretty sides of the fabric facing each other. And we will sew using a 1/4 inch seam along the 6-inch sides. So I will go over to my machine and stitch that up with a straight stitch. And when I return, I will have a heated iron. And with that iron, in a moment, after I show you this wonderful little cylinder we've made, I will go ahead and press it nicely so it sets the stitches. And once the stitches are set, then I will turn it right side out. And again, I will go ahead and press the stitches. You can see I have that nice cylinder and I've pressed it. The stitches are set. Now I'm going to press the seam so that too will be nice and smooth. And those two edges form the dispenser for our tissue case. I have the option to go ahead and top stitch it, so I'm going to take that over to the machine and do that. I am going to use the edge foot as I create this top stitch. I'm giving you a aerial view, so to speak. If you've never used this foot before, I do have Meet the Feet set playlist, and in there you will find a nice review of how to use the edge foot, but simply I'm running the blade along the edge of the dispenser opening, and I'll repeat that on the other side as well, and it creates a nice top stitch. I've moved my needle over to the left so the blade runs along the edge, and then the needle itself moves slightly to the left because I've positioned it there. And I'm going to repeat that same process to the other side because again, these sewn seams are going to form the dispenser. So very simple. I'm backing up the stitch, I'm cutting my threads, and then I'm stitching along till I get to the other side. And then I'm going to give it a little practice fold, a dress rehearsal of how I want this tissue holder to look. I've smoothed the fabric and I'm going to take the two side seams, fold them to the center to form the dispenser, and then what I will do is I will stitch on the two open ends, first using a running stitch, and then I will go back and I will use a zigzag stitch to finish off those raw edges. So you can do this with a sewing machine. I am removing the edge foot, but I'm showing it to you so you can see the little blade underneath, and I have replaced the edge foot with the general purpose foot that came with my sewing machine. I am going to line up the raw edge, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lock my stitches before I begin sewing so they don't unravel later. I'm just back stitching a little bit, and I have it set to a straight stitch. This is cotton, so I have it set to 2.0 or 2.5, depending on the layers. In this case, it is at 2.5. So I've back stitched, and now I'm going to forward stitch to the other side. And when I get to the other end, I will back stitch again to lock those stitches. After I have these stitches locked, I will go ahead and sew that edge again using a zigzag stitch, and I will make sure that my machine swings from the edge of the fabric over to the left, and it's actually touching that running stitch. I don't think I mentioned it earlier. I went ahead and sewed using a 1/4 inch seam. I try to use a 1/4 inch seam throughout this project. So what that will do is it will seal the raw edges and keep all the threads nice and neat. And then I will repeat this process to the other side. You'll see me do that. I'm cutting the thread. It's nice when you have those built-in scissors. So here you see the process as it was completed on both ends, and I'm just going to trim away a little bit of those fuzzies. This is optional, you certainly don't have to use that. Notice that I use the rotary cutter and I push it away from my body. And I will repeat that same process away from my body. And when I put it down, you should close the blade. Always close that blade, that's safety. And then we can turn the corners right side out. There's even a little corner gadget you can use. And that's all there is to it. Instant replay. Let me show you the point turner. I just couldn't end the video without showing you what it looked like. You can also use tweezers to grab the corners. And you can see I'm just turning it right side out. It's one of my favorite little gadgets to keep in the drawer. And it just has a little point. And you just push it to each corner until you get them popped out really nicely. Very, very, very easy basic. I use it for jackets, cuffs, anywhere where I have a little point, handbags that I wanted to stand at attention. And now I feel like the bag is done. Of course, it's never fully finished until you give it that final press. I love this little apple theme. It's wonderful for teachers. You can use all different types of fabrics. Tailor them, personalize them for the person you're giving it to. Here's another one that I did using seasonal colors from leftover stash from the season before. I hope you find lots of uses for this wonderful little gift.